Well, 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 well. Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and what are we doing in this video? We are reacting, not something I often do on this channel, but when I do, I like to make sure that I am reacting to a reaction, because that makes the most sense. And what am I reacting to in this video? None other than the man, the boy, the dude, the gamer, the memer, the streamer, KSI himself. He has made a video on his second channel, basically going over and giving a raw reaction to my thoughts, my review on his new record,
Simulation.
I don't know if you guys know, but KSI, one of the most popular YouTubers out there, has made an album. And in my opinion, he is one of the better, if not the best, of upper echelon YouTubers deciding to go rap. Didn't really cringe at his rapping in the way that I have Jake Paul's or PewDiePie's or any number of people who think because I have 10 million subscribers, I must rap now. Having said that, I did have quite a few criticisms for JJ's record. Ones that I hope he took to heart if he is in fact serious about this music thing. And I'm assuming, before I even start this video, I've not even watched 10 seconds of this video yet, okay? I'm assuming before I have started this video that he has taken the criticism positively. The reason I guess this is because what I know of him and his content, he seems like a pretty good-natured person, and on top of it, this video does have 2 million views on it right now, and if KSI in this video were calling for my death for giving his album a 4, I imagine I would be dead right now. So fingers crossed. Let's see how KSI takes this thing and what his response is to my thoughts on his record.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It is time for Anthony Fantano to review.
It is time. It is my time. It is time. Let's go.
My album. When it comes to music reviews, Anthony Fantano, also known as The Needle Drop, is GOATed.
Yes! Yes! I'm the GOAT, bitch. KSI says it.
His channel is just filled with reviews from people like Gunna to the 1975 to Charlie XCX, Future.
It's a lot of reviews.
The range of music that he reviews is just incredible. And I watch this guy a lot. Like, I watch almost every single video from him.
What? What? Are you kidding me? Previous to all of this and previous to the clip where he was talking to his fans about, I'm gonna get a review from the GOATs, The Needle Drop, Sean C. Before he did that video, you know, I knew he was somebody who watched, and I had an inkling that he'd not just watched, but was also like a little bit of a fan, which is cool, which is fine. But huge respect to KSI for acknowledging the work that we put in over here, you know, and the audience as well, supporting what goes on here on this channel. That's amazing. It's fantastic. Love it.
For him to be reviewing my album is incredible.
Wow, he's like a kid on Christmas. This eases my tensions that I had earlier in the video a little bit, because if he's watched, if he's objective, okay, if KSI is objective and he's watched like all my reviews since he's stumbled upon me, and he's just been watching review after review after review after review, he must know, like, the most positive review is not coming. So let's go.
I know, it's very surreal. And yeah, I actually can't believe it's happening. Also, I'm going to be doing a Twitch interview with him. I'm not sure when, actually. Let me check. 3rd of June.
Yeah, we're gonna reschedule that. This unfortunately ended up falling through because given the unrest and everything that's been happening over the past 9 or 10 days, we personally have felt that it was not like the best time to kind of sit down and do a casual, laid-back type of interview. And you know, we'll get together with this on a later date, because I plan to ask him just about his aspirations in the music industry and other questions. And I don't know, maybe I'll have more to ask him when I'm finished watching this. I guess we will see.
But yeah, obviously one of the main features of The Needle Drop is he's extremely critical, like extremely critical. He has given low scores to so many people. Like for me, I am gassed that my album is just clear. There is not a not good on it. If I got a not good, I think I'd want to top myself.
Well, at least he was open to the possibility of getting a not good. I guess I could say that.
Damn. All right, let's go.
Hi, everyone. How many unarmed
Oh fuck! I just realized I'm wearing the same fucking shirt. Okay, this will be weird, but all right, let's go.
black men do cops need to kill with no justification before it stops here?
Facts.
The internet's busiest music
Big
nerd.
facts.
And it is time for a review of the new KSI record.
Ah! It feels weird! It feels weird him saying my name!
Dissimulation. This is a new full-length album from English YouTuber, streamer.
I think it's so sick that he's even acknowledged me. Holy shit, especially as a musician. This is huge.
I was getting so many fucking requests to review this album, and simultaneously the record has been doing some numbers too, you know, and I have reviewed the stuff of other YouTubers who have tried to come out with music, and this is certainly one of the more visible instances of that, so don't be surprised.
And isn't he also the dude that boxed Logan Paul?
Fuck's
yes,
sake.
and yes, he is a gamer and a bit of a goof too.
Hey, yo, what? Hey, come on, man. How you gonna do me like that?
I'm sorry, I'm just talking facts. But there's nothing wrong with being a bit of a goofball. Nothing wrong with that. I've been known to goof.
There's tons of cringy clips of him all over the internet doing God knows what. But
Okay,
we're
look. Okay. That's when I was younger, obviously. When I was younger, I did a few bad things. I was a bit wild. Obviously, I've grown up, I've matured, and I'm a new man. I'm an older man.
But
I will admit some of those clips were older. Like in just doing a little bit of overall research and also trying to figure out what I was getting into when reviewing this project, I went to KSI's subreddit, and God, they they spend all fucking day bullying him. They make fun of his hair, they make fun of his clothes, they make fun of old clips of him. Like they just brutalize him every fucking day. And I thought my audience was bad on my subreddit, but KSI, your audience literally just kills you every day on that subreddit.
the name of the game is figuring out different ways to monetize your audience's attention. And music is just one of the most obvious avenues to do that. Considering the numbers a guy like
Yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know. I've always just been doing music anyway. Like, it's not like, bro, I don't even see the fucking money I make from music, man. I've made way more money doing YouTube videos and boxing than music. Music, I make fuck all.
Yeah, that's I'm not surprised to hear that, and I'm a little surprised to hear that someone at KSI's sort of popularity level on the internet is also kind of dealing with that. But I'm not surprised to hear that in general, because I've talked with musicians who have had pretty lengthy careers up until this point. People I've been reviewing multiple times, and they'll tell me they don't make that much money off their stuff. They lose money on their stuff. They're making more money on the tour or other media ventures they're doing outside of music.
It's a hobby I just like doing. I enjoy doing music. Yeah, I don't really see it as something I'm there to try and monetize. I'm not there like, yo, I need a money stream. Oh, I have all these money streams, but I don't have enough.
Hey, I don't know how much you like money. Maybe you want to be Scrooge McDuck one day and just like be swimming in a pile of cash. But having said that, I am glad to hear this, you know, because if this is in fact how he feels, then he must want to grow and move forward and drop more stuff and hopefully progress as an artist.
There are some tracks here that have a bit of a Travis Scott vibe, especially on the song Cap, where I would say that KSI is blatantly ripping off Travis Scott, as well as
Shit!
Come on, dude. You can't tell me you did not see that coming. Like, it sounds like a fucking Travis Scott song. Come on, bro.
Really? I guess it's just the auto-tune.
Maybe there are aspects of the production that you're not thinking of as well, but like just how heavy that trap, just how heavy those sub bass hits are, and the reverb and the auto tune as well. Yes, I mean that's obviously a factor, but it's so trippy and it's so cavernous and it's so like it's so panoramic, just like a Travis Scott song usually is. Now, you know, I don't fault you entirely, because it is a very popular, generally trendy sound, because a lot of people are copying it.
His rapping and vocal delivery is a lot more convincing than a Jake Paul or like a Rice Gum.
Pow, 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 pow!
Tracks.
Pow! Yes! My man knows. Jeez! Let's go! I mean, to be honest, like, we already knew this.
It is true. It's super fucking true. I mean, I was saying something very obvious at that point in the review, but I mean, it needed to be said because of who KSI is. That comparison is naturally going to come up. And, while the review is not the most positive review in the world, I would like to reiterate and say, like, the thing about KSI is that there is actually legitimately some potential there, whereas with Rice Gum, there will never be a good Rice Gum song. I will take that to the fucking grave.
Honestly, if I didn't know who this was from the sound of this record and the look of the track list and the vibe of the instrumentals, I would assume this was a major label project with a big budget behind it from an artist who does this professionally.
Hey, yo, I'm going to take that as a big compliment.
Yeah, I mean, I think you should. It's your debut project. You're totally transitioning into an industry that people don't usually know you for.
I definitely feel because I am me, KSI, the YouTuber, it puts me at a disadvantage to most musicians. Just because people are like, oh, he's a YouTuber, it's probably trash. So like, no one even gives me a chance. So I always have to prove myself. But you know what? That is just how it is.
It's true. It is how it is. And I personally have dealt with that as well. Anytime I've ever tried to do anything that is not YouTube, whether that be, hey, I'm going to say something political on the internet. Oh, well, you're just on YouTube and you talk about music. Oh, well, I'm going to do live shows at some, smaller venues, but still end up selling them out and everything. And people are like, oh, what do you think? You're a comedian, you're doing stand-up? Like, what do you do live? Review music? People who do one thing and you know them for that one thing can branch out and do other things well if you give them the time and the faith to do so. And if it shows like they're genuinely putting forward the effort to do something that is worthwhile. It's not true in all cases. There are a lot of people who try to transition away from what they are typically known for and completely half-ass it. That is definitely a thing. And I realize that the history of that, the pattern of that, is the reason why the stigma exists in the first place. But, it is possible. It is possible if you give people and content creators a chance. And I would like to think that I have tried to give KSI a chance here. In just the way I listened to his music and thought about it in context of the artists and the sounds that are obviously inspiring this record and how it measures up to those, as opposed to just merely leaving the review as, oh, well, it's better than Jake Paul. Because my other thoughts are to continue here.
Speaking of track lists here that feel a little focus grouped, like we have to have this vibe and that vibe, this style and that style go for this sound and that sound.
I think that's just me. That's just me in general. I just like having different sounds. I hate just having the same sound, or I hate just doing the same thing. As you can see in my whole career. So.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. KSI is a little younger than me, little younger than me, and sometimes I do underestimate just the way younger people listen to music in terms of like compartmentalizing it stylistically. I grew up during a time when it was very much par the course for artists to. You're known for one style, you do that sound. Of course, you had anomalies out there like, let's say Beck, for example, and he's not the only one, but, people who do like a little bit of everything. Oh, it's pop, it's rock, it's hip hop, it's electronic. He's just all over the place. But typically, people would just kind of have their very narrow lane and they would stick to that. But these days, with the internet allowing listeners the ability to listen to really everything at the end of the click of a mouse, it's made listeners and even musicians themselves willing to branch out of what is said to be, I guess, maybe their comfort zone. There's not really much of a comfort zone with a lot of artists these days. I mean, even Travis Scott just dropped a reggaeton track with Rosalia that came out very good. So, the will to adventure and branch out seems a little bit greater these days, and people are just doing it so casually. They're like, yeah, it's not a big deal at all. So yeah, I'm not surprised to hear this, or I guess hearing him say this puts this in a new light, I suppose. And again, as I say in the review, it's one of the better songs on the album anyway.
Namely the track Poppin' featuring Lil Pump and Smoke Perp. Now, a feature from these two is a bit dated at this point, but it is a pretty grimy banger with eerie production, nowhere near as raw as the early SoundCloud stuff that put these guys on the map, but a similar energy there that KSI effectively plays off of with his performance on the track pretty well.
So he enjoys Poppin'. You see? Poppin's a good track, guys.
Do people hate Poppin'? Why the fuck do people hate Poppin'? I mean, it's just a pretty straightforward, nasty trap banger. It's got a decent beat to it. It's got a good energy to it. I mean, it's not the most intricate song in the world, but I imagine that KSI's fans aren't hating it because it's not deep enough. Where are the layers? I would have to see what his fans don't like about the song, but it's not terrible.
Project, though, he fails to make a case for his own originality. The track Bad Lil Vibe.
No, my feelings! Oh, my ego is depleting!
The track Bad Lil Vibe is another moment that sounds like a blatant Travis Scott ripoff, but not even Travis Scott. This track could have literally been on the new Don Toliver record, but if it was, it would have been better because Don would have sung his fucking ass off. Whereas KSI's singing, as opposed to his rapping, is not quite as good. All the vocal processing in the world can't distract from how tone deaf he is.
I'm already dead, man! Stop! Please! Ow! Fuck! Anthony, man! Jeez, how are you gonna do that to me?
I'm sorry, dude.
I think we all know that my singing isn't as great as my rapping. But you know what? I'm getting better, okay? I'm learning what to do.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's good. If you were to progress on that, you would not be the only rapper / singer who over the years the vocals have gotten better. You know, I would say over the years, Drake's vocals have gotten better. The vocals on his early stuff. I mean, I know people, think Drake is the GOAT and so on and so forth, but objectively speaking, his singing has gotten better over the years. Like, his singing was so fucking robotic on the early stuff, especially Thank Me Later. His singing is not like the best in the world, but it's a lot better now than it used to be. So, I mean, you wouldn't be the first person out there to be singing on record as a rapper, because it's almost like a requirement these days to be that versatile, and just be improving on that front. So let's go.
His pen game too, which by the way on the highlights here is not mind-blowing, but even that begins to falter as the album progresses, like on the track Wake Up Call, where his rhymes and wordplay are
no! Oh, I knew this was coming. A certain man, and they know who they are. They're at fault for this.
And we have a standout with I'm winning in different avenues, trippy my revenue. Don't
He knew this was fucking coming. He literally knew I was going to point this out.
see me ever lose, and I jump hurdles like kangaroos.
Dude, okay, here, look. All right, here's a word of advice, okay? Word of advice. Any lyric that you are writing... Not to make this too much about me, but... any lyric that you are writing, imagine somebody reading that lyric back at you in a judgy tone, and if in that context it makes you do this, then maybe it's maybe a redo is in order.
It's not nearly as attention grabbing as the bar on Killa Killa where he says taller than the maca, and I gotta stack it up. Now she's sounding like Chewbacca. When she back it up?
Hey, yo! Oh, man. That's funny. Anthony's clearly not fucked certain girls. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I cannot say I've ever heard that.
Girls say some questionable things when they orgasm.
But Chewbacca doesn't even talk. Chewbacca doesn't have dialogue. He just goes. But okay.
We have Rick Ross and Lil Baby on the track Down Like That. Now, while I find this track listenable, it's just not very groundbreaking, not very memorable. It's got a lot of name recognition.
How you gonna was saying about, oh my God.
It's true though, and I am not surprised he's shocked because I'm sure that he had to fucking move heaven and earth to get Rick Ross and Little Baby on that track. But I don't know. Poppin' came out better.
We then get the worst for last, though, on the track Millions, where KSI is sounding absolutely comatose or maybe overcome with emotion. I can't quite tell.
Okay, look. Obviously, that song is quite personal.
I could tell the track was personal for sure, but it is important thinking about it objectively, because you have to kind of almost separate yourself from the emotion of the track, because I know an artist can become overcome with the emotion of a certain song if they're doing a slow jam, if they're doing a sad song, whatever it is, and think less about the sound of it and think more about the emotion of it. And you need to consider that, are your slow jams, are your sadder songs sounding as tight and sounding as well put together and sounding as cleanly executed as your bangers, which maybe in that context, it's a little easier to hear something that's off because maybe not as much like, my personal struggle is going into it. Whereas when you do take a chance and put an element of personal struggle into a song, you can't let that remove. And we were just talking about your vocals earlier, and I'll talk about the vocals in the review in a second as he sort of rolls through this and plays this. But if we're being objective with your vocals here, just as we were a few tracks ago earlier in the review, the singing here is not the best.
I mean, I guess there were some tracks from this thing that I liked and I thought were cool, but at the end of the day, I'm left wondering, is this a passion project, a vanity project, or is it an attempt at something greater in the music world?
It's a big question, and I will answer it. Obviously, it is passion. It's one of those things where I have to just, I'm still learning and I'm still trying to get better. But that's quite interesting that he said that. Oh wow, fuck! I feel like I'm already gonna get a low score. I feel like I'm getting a 2.
Well, at least after he said that, I surpassed his expectations.
Feeling a strong 4 to a light 5.
Oh shit! Strong 4, light 5. Oh wow! Let's go! I think I beat Eminem.
You did beat Eminem, so this is better than Revival.
Ultimately, it's one of those things where I just have to constantly, prove myself as a musician, and I think this first album was me laying the foundation, and showing that I am taking this seriously. I just need to prove it, and I'm constantly trying to make steps towards pushing the boundaries of what a YouTuber can do, and hopefully one day I can truly reach a stage where Fantano gives me a fucking 8.
The 8 is the goal. The 8's everybody's goal.
But no, this is a good review. Yeah, I've learned quite a bit from it. I love how critical he is, because it's real, man, and he's not trying to just kiss my ass.
No, I will not kiss your fucking ass. If your next record is not good, I'm going to say it's not fucking good. And then after I say it's not good and the video goes up, I'll fucking internet bully you over Twitter. Okay, just so you know.
I'm happy with a strong 4, light 5. I had 10 from Andy Fantano, fam. Holy shit, that's crazy. Oh man. I really thought I'd get a 2 or 1. I thought it'd be so low. But
I think, and I'll add this here in reaction to what he's saying, I think there are some people who are over-hating the record, personally. There are some songs on it that they sound standard. But for someone who is starting out from the point that KSI is, that's not the worst thing that they could be. There's a lot worse things that they could be. I've heard much worse YouTuber music. It does sound mainstream. It does sound professional. At least it sounds like it is trying to compete in that mainstream hip hop lane. KSI, he came to the boxing ring looking trained, looking trim, looking ready. But he got in the ring and he got beat up a little bit. is how I'll put it. But once you've already trained and everything, you're already ready for showtime. So all that's really left is to get back out there and just do it again, and just make sure you learn from your past mistakes and just do it better. That's really all that you can do. Yeah, that was KSI's reaction to my review, and here is my reaction to his reaction for the meme. I'm glad he took the review well, and hopefully I can, when it seems more appropriate and makes more sense, do a follow-up interview and conversation with him, where we again go over some of the finer points of the record and his aspirations in music and what he plans on doing in the music world going forward. And yeah, that's it. So thank all of you for watching and sticking with me through all of this. You're the best, and love you, love you, love you. Anthony Fantano, KSI, Dissimulation, Review, Reaction, forever.